So what I will do is just go through briefly what we're doing now, why we're doing it now, and what our preference is. With the Tidy Town Awards, we've always had, from our point of view, and we believe also from the entrance, one of the main parts of the program is actually going to all the towns where entries have come from and making a presentation to the entrance, just acknowledging the fact that they have entered the Tidy Town Awards and talking to them about the projects they've done. So I've been around here for nearly 14 years now, and we've certainly been doing that at least 14 years. I believe it was happening before I actually started. And what it does do is it gives us, rather than just talking to you by email or as it was 14 years ago by post, in a lot of cases, a chance to actually see the people, talk to them face to face, obviously get much better connections with people if you're talking to them face to face. And we certainly don't want to be a Melbourne-based organisation, given a lot of the work we do with groups is in regional Victoria. So we see our part, or part of what we do, is being out in the regions as well. So yeah, we'll kick it off now. We still may get some people coming along. Yeah, so as I was alluding to earlier, in normal times, we'd be coming to your towns and doing these presentations. Unfortunately, we're not able to do that at the moment. Even though I think of today, you people in regional Victoria can actually travel around to regional Victoria. There's a few of us sitting on here at the moment who can still only go 5 kilometres from our front door. So we're doing these presentations as virtual presentations. For those that don't know, my name's Gary Mogford. As I said earlier, I've been around the place for about 14 years now. I'm masquerading as Emma White, who is our events manager. Emma's a little bit better looking than I am, but Emma's actually taking care of a beautiful five-week-old baby. So we didn't think it was appropriate to intrude on her to run these, which would have normally been the case. What I'll start off doing is there's some KVB staff on the call at the moment, so I'll just acknowledge those people if they can give a wave, just so the people maybe would put names to the faces. So on there we do have Sabina Wills, who's our hardworking CEO. And Sabina's one of those people that doesn't live in regional Victoria, so she is able to go more than 5 kilometres from her home at the moment.
It's from midnight tonight, Gary.
Tonight?
Tonight. Yeah, it's not at the moment, no. Staying at home like everyone else. Midnight and tonight.
You're very free and loose with the hardworking.
Well, that's what I was told to put in.
Oh, okay.
We've also got Sam Lawson. Sam's been doing most of the work in relation to the awards since Emma's been on maternity leave, and doing that very capably. His real day job is running a program called LEON, which is Litter Enforcement Officers Network, which looks at trying to get regional councils hopefully all working in the same direction, taking the same steps in relation to illegal waste around Victoria. So Sam's actually created a program to educate and teach and get feedback from local councils, as I said, to try and get the program running in step all the way along. We have Anton Tejada. Anton's our volunteer manager, so he'll be he's looking after our stationeers and adopt a roadside volunteer programs across the state. And the other person we have on is our chairman, Dick Ross.
Hi, everyone.
Yep. Yep, so that's our staff member. I think we almost outnumber the rest of you at the moment. Just quickly, how today's going to work. Fairly simple. If you're not already on mute, can you mute yourself, please? I'll call out projects and the town the projects are from. And then if you're here representing that program, what we're looking for is just a really quick description of the project. What was the need, how it was organised, how many people were involved, and what the results been. We're allowing around about 2 minutes. We really don't want speeches, unfortunately. We don't have time for that to happen. So just really brief summaries of what the program is. So to do that, you'll need to unmute yourself. Now there's normally a button right bottom right-hand corner of your screen. No, start again, bottom left-hand corner. So if you click on that, that should unmute you, and then you can start your talk. I'll start getting a bit fidgety once you start getting around your 2 minute mark. So just to give you a clue as to, you're getting to around about the 2 minute mark. If you keep going on for a bit too long, I'll become a bit more agitated. And if you keep going, we'll just mute you. Simple as that. If you've got more than one project that you're representing, you won't necessarily be doing those back to back. What I'm going to try and do is split up the projects so that it's not one person having to talk for 5 or 10 minutes at a time. And I'll be calling out names of projects. If there's no one here representing that particular project, we'll obviously just move on to the next one. So I'm happy with all that, and all of you are muted at the moment, so you can't give me any feedback anyhow, so we might just continue on. And the first part I'll do, and I'm telling you, you can only talk for 2 minutes, but I'm going on like a rabbit for ages. For those that don't know, a brief history of Keep Victoria Beautiful. We've now been operating for over 50 years. Originally, it started off as an anti-litter campaign. The driving force in getting Keep Victoria Beautiful established was a lady by the name of Dame Phyllis Frost. Some of you may have heard of her in the past or from the past. She was a very active, goes to speak for herself, doesn't it, community activist, but very heavily involved in the environment, litter and women's prisons. And she was the type of woman who was able to get access to the right people to get change that she thought was necessary. And Keep Victoria Beautiful came from a meeting that she was able to have with Sir Henry Bolte, the Premier of the day. So that's how we started. Now, at the moment, we're a much broader organisation. We're still involved with litter, both in, if you like, a domestic form and now getting into illegal waste as well, and very much in supporting community groups in the activities that they do in improving the environment in general. And our two community projects that we manage or run, Stationeers and Adopt a Roadside, again, just managing those particular groups. We try and act between the government agencies involved with the programs, and much to our chagrin, we try and absorb the bureaucracy for the volunteer groups. But again, they're people doing work in the environment. So that's probably enough rabbiting on for me. So I'll now just start picking off groups randomly from the list I have here. And if you're here to talk about that group, as I said, you can unmute yourself, give us a quick wave, introduce yourself, and off you go, and I'll hit the stopwatch.
Sorry, Gary, I think Patrick might have had a question.
Yo. Yes, Patrick.
Yes, Gary. My question is, are you anticipating or expecting people to use a presentation at all during their short presentation of the project?
No, unfortunately, it'd just be verbal. We looked at it and we tried to have people doing that last year, and we had all sorts of issues with people trying to put up different versions of different things and running different programs, and it became, to be honest, a bit of a mess. So unfortunately, it's just going to be verbal. All right.
Thank you.
So the first one, if there's someone there to talk about Sherwin Rise sustainability initiatives, which is from All Alert.
Okay, hello guys. My name's John Ryan. I'm the development manager for the project. Sherwood and Rise is an over 55s community located in Wollert, 25 kilometres north of the Melbourne CBD. On completion, we'll have 147 units and we've currently got stage 1 complete, which is 30 homes. And we've got our community facilities as well as stage 2 currently under construction. So once that's complete, we'll have 57 units completed. The project had a sustainability goal of achieving net zero carbon by 2025. So that's within the operation of the village to be carbon neutral by the year 2025. To achieve that, we've designed out the supply of gas within the development. So we're a 100% electrified village. And we've included a large scale interconnected solar scheme, which within an embedded network that the village operates on. So that solar power scheme that's included in the village will be, upon completion, will be 377 kilowatts of PV solar generation capability. Now that exceeds the peak electrical demand for the village that AusNet's estimated to be 355 kilowatts. Some other sustainability initiatives that we've implemented within the village is recycled water, a minimum 6-star energy efficient home with obviously all electric appliances. So we've got solar heat pumps for the hot water service, which also act like a mini battery within the home. The hot water is heated during the day and then that hot water holds temperature throughout the evening. So the homes are incredibly efficient. And that results in cost savings for our residents as well. So we've engaged an external consultant and they've run some numbers for us, and the homes are anywhere between $2,000 to $4,000 per annum more economical to run for our residents.
If you start finishing up, please, John.
Sure. The interconnected nature of the solar network allows for solar energy to be shared from resident to resident as well. So once say a resident goes on holiday, the electricity that's generated on that home will then also be able to use by their neighbours or to heat and power the communal facilities. So quite an efficient system. We've also agreed with AusNet to be 100% any excess electricity that's produced will be able to be fed back onto the public grid as well. So also powering the neighbouring homes. That's about it for me, I think.
Excellent.
Yep.
Sounds like a very exciting project. Thank you, John.
Indeed. Thank you very much.
So the next one looking at is Little River Weir Open Day from Little River. Anyone to talk about that one?
Yes, that'll be me, Gary. Patrick here.
Thanks, Patrick.
Patrick Allen, I'm the president of the Little River Community Land Care. Little River, for those that don't know, is located between Melbourne, western Melbourne, between Werribee and Geelong. And the Little River Weir Open Day is nominated in the community category for these awards. Now this was held in February this year. It was actually the first local community event since the first COVID lockdown began in early March 2020. We had a great day for it, and we had a pretty good turnout for Little River. We had about 85 people attend the day, especially since we'd only pretty much just come out of a lockdown and COVID was front of mind for people. We organised the day in cooperation with a number of local community groups, our councils and Melbourne Water. The aim of the day was really to bring the community together to get input for the development of a community-led project which aims to improve a reach of the Little River below the weir. The weir is no longer in use, by the way. It's the structure's there, but it doesn't really serve any particular purpose these days. So we got a lot of support and enthusiasm on the day. It really surpassed our expectations. And it was great to hear on the day the history of the weir from members of families. And there was mention of Henry Bolte early on in the presentation or the discussion today. And Henry Bolte was actually one of the people who inadvertently and fortuitously came across a local who needed assistance on the highway and actually facilitated the community getting that weir constructed. So anyway, there was a lot of excitement around the day in the weir when we actually managed to uncover the names of the families who were involved in actually constructing the weir. We're also anticipating now that there's some imminent announcements from Melbourne Water and Wyndham City Council to provide funding for us to prepare a master plan, and that master plan will guide the improvements, further implementation of improvements to the reach of the river below the weir.
And start finishing up, please, Patrick.
Yep, nearly there. And so I guess this particular project will provide a focal point for our community to continue to improve the environment around the Little River, and also an area for our community to enjoy as a public space. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick. Always love projects that get communities together. The next one, project called Train and Game from Ararat. Anyone got a quote in that one? Nope. Okay. So we'll head on to A Sense of Place, a post-COVID community recovery from Wooloora.
Thanks, Gary. It's Lois from Wooloora. Our project is in social wellbeing, and we've developed a community art gallery and meeting place in the old railway station at Wooloora. Our town is about 300 people, so a very small town, and we've been in the doldrums over a period of the last 20 years, like many Western Victorian towns. Our project, Sense of Place, we brought together 5 artists, and they worked for a year, going around the district, meeting people and creating artworks. We had COVID develop, which put us all in a tailspin. Would we go ahead with it, and so on? We wanted to do the right thing by the artists. They'd been working very hard. So we rearranged the deck chairs. We allowed our exhibition to go over the whole of summer for 3 months. And the purpose of this exhibition was to increase the self-worth of the community if they saw our town through someone else's eyes. Serendipity worked, and it was a really popular exhibition. The local community saw that through new perspectives, they saw their town in a really positive new way, in a beautiful way. One of the key things, I think, which turned the tide was a video that was created by drone by a local girl, a young girl. And so we had the chance to see our town from above and our district from above. And it sort of took us out of all the problems of trying to keep a little town going to seeing from above a town that looked beautiful near the mountains, and the canola was out and the river was flowing through. And we saw how proud we could be of where we live. And with COVID happening, I think we all saw, wow, this is a really nice place to be and a safe place to be. And we have a new sense of our own environment, surroundings, and so on. So I would say, end result, the morale and the spirit of our town has been uplifted, but we face the same challenge again this year. We've just had an exhibition and it's open 3 times now, and we have to rearrange the deck chairs again and see where we go from here. So as I know, with all little towns and so on, and Melbourne in particular too, you know, we're all surviving. We all can be resilient, and we'll look at our towns in new ways and still keep them coming together.
Excellent.
That's about it.
Thank you, Lois.
Thank you.
again, lovely project bringing community together, and I love seeing old railway stations being put to a better use. Next one is the City of Greater Bendigo Intercultural Ambassadors. No one putting a hand up for that one? Okay, so sending food and garden waste to a better place from Mildura. Nope. Okay, enhancing cultural safety at Echuca Regional Health. All quiet on the Western Front. KaiFit program, a gym-based mentoring program from Kyabram. I'm going to get bingo soon. Quambatook District Share Shop. Okay, railway station garden, Little River.
Hello. Hi. I'm Jenny Epstein, and yeah, as I said, live in Little River. 10 years ago, the station precinct was pretty bare. It just had a steep, gravelly bank adjacent to the car park, and I really thought it could do with some TLC. So at the time, I approached the Lions Club to see if we could help get some decent soil, some rocks, some plants, and to see if we could do a bit of landscaping there with native plants. So that started off in 2011, and over a period of years, we've gradually planted out most of the embankment with native and local Indigenous plants for our basalt plains. So it's actually now a bit of a showcase about the native plants that will grow well in Little River, and also our Indigenous plants, which are often pretty small and people don't take much notice of, but when they're planted, when you can actually see them flowering like that, they're quite surprisingly attractive. And particularly during COVID, people made that a focal point of their walks, daily walks, because we have lots of different things flowering through the year. And also now we have honey eaters nesting in there, right? So it's creating quite a good habitat. And I'm hoping the locals will take the opportunity to find out what the plants are, or even take things or seed from them to plant in their own garden to help improve our total biodiversity in Little River. So later on, we're involved with the Little River Land Care Group, and we've had assistance obviously from the Station Years program with grants. So a lot of people have helped make the garden what it is today. So that's about it.
Well, thank you, Jenny. If anyone's ever driving past Little River, strongly suggest you drop in and have a look at the station. I have been involved with Jenny and the station through the Station News program for a fair while now. And from what it started as to what it is now, you'd almost think it was in the same place. So well done, Jenny, and the people you have helping you. Where will we go to next? Clay pins for a cause from Ballarat. Okay, Brow College Kakay Academy from Woolsthorpe. Okay, connecting our communities with the environment, St Arnaud and District.
Thanks, Gary. G'day all. My name's Andrew Borg. I'm the land care facilitator for the Bull Lake Northern Grampians Land Care Network. We've got about 20 groups working for us, all in different aspects of environmental stewardship, which is pretty much our focus. We take a pretty holistic view of the environment and environmental stewardship. In our area around St Arnaud, there's a lot of broadacre farming, land care was actually commenced up here about 35 years ago. So there's a big focus on land care. Despite the problems that everyone experienced last year, we managed to get about 240 volunteers active in the area. They put in a very, very modest estimate of about 1,800 hours, but we know it was a little bit more than that. We just didn't keep track of it. We planted about 20,000 trees, 20,032 to be exact, which is about 200 hectares. Also looking after things like erosion management control, which we have a bit of a problem with erosion management around here because of the farming background. Also a problem with rabbits. So we cleared about 7,000 hectares of space for rabbit management and pests and weeds. Despite all the hardships of, as I said, that everyone went through, we, the community up here was pretty resilient. They love their land care. They love getting out. And because of COVID, I suppose, we've been communicating a lot more online and things like that. So we've been able to share with them the importance of getting back out and into nature and the health benefits that are associated with that. The net result was that we actually formed, apart from the things that we did, we had interest from different areas. So we actually formed 2 new groups in our area. One focusing specific on regenerative farming, which is big in the area, and that's all about finding those things which are healthier for us, a lack of chemical inputs and more natural inputs and things like that, as well as planting more trees for biodiversity. Another group we've got is pretty much clearing up a section of their town under our auspices, and I think they cleared about 1,500 tonnes of building rubble, and basically planting trees over the top of that to improve that. And the
other, if you could, please, Andrew.
Will do. And the other group we've got is now looking at bringing back a couple of endangered species, so the squirrel gliders, to be exact. So all in all, the community values the environmental assets that we've got, and we're all working towards building that resilience for ourselves and that environment. And in doing so, will hopefully give us a bit more hope for the future. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you, Andrew. You've done well getting so many people together in the times we've been through. Next one. Tiger Pair Control, a demonstration day at Little River.
Sorry, Gary, that'd be us, but I didn't actually think that was nominated in this these awards.
Okay.
Yeah.
All righty. So if you're not prepared for that, that's fine. If you want to talk to us about that later, you can give us a yell and we'll work out what's going on there.
Okay, thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Patrick. Ocean Mission from Anglesea. Cleanest town on the surf coast, Aries Inlet.
Yes, thanks, Gary. My name's Glenys Strayton, and there's a couple of other representatives on the screen in this project, Jackie Lamont and Helen Thomas. At the beginning of last year, or just as COVID broke, we live in a little town on the Great Ocean Road called Aries Inlet, and it's a very desired place to be. We're very fortunate to live there, and I started a Facebook page, and it was more a community connector for the times of COVID to help the residents of the town. And one of the posts that was put up in the very early days was the amount of litter that was lying around town and consequently making its way into our beautiful ocean. So a couple of people said, let's do something about it. And so I put a call out one Saturday morning for people to turn up at the local hall and to bring a garbage bag and some gloves. And so they did. They came in numbers. And we ended up with, trying to find out who was responsible for this litter. Was it Great Ocean Roads Coast Committee, Vic Roads Council, And in typical form, the bureaucracy always said it was somebody else. So we decided to clean it up ourselves, and we now have this group that every week it's like doing the vacuuming. We vacuum the entire town. And it's become a great connector for the people who are engaged in this volunteer process. We've been funded, we've bought all of our safety equipment, a couple of local community groups have auspiced us to ensure that we've got insurance coverage, but we get out there every weekend when it's allowed, and we vacuum clean our town. And one of the things that I've thought about during this process is that it has made the whole town really proud. I mean, we are so passionate about it now, and it's brought the town together. So it's been a great community connector, and it's just so fabulous to see the litter staying where it belongs. So that's it from us. Thank you.
Excellent. Well done, Glenys, and well done. Well done on organising it, and congratulations on the success. And yes, you are right, because we see a lot in our volunteer programs that we run that things like this do a lot of community building, which is always desirable. Next, we'll go on country walk and talk with Wadawurrung traditional owners. And that's from Little River.
Yeah, Patrick O'Halloran here. So the walk and talk on country with Wadawurrung traditional owners was a opportunity for us to start to engage with our local traditional owner group. We organised this at the Rothwell Biodiversity Reserve in the Yuyangs here close by Little River. And it involved a Wadawurrung representative speaking to our community, and it was sort of targeted at members of land care networks and other Friends of the Environment networks this part of the day. And it was really an opportunity for us to get a bit of understanding about their culture, but also to introduce the country plan which Wadawurrung has developed for this country, which we're on here. And then that day, so we had about 50 people at that day. And for those who might not have visited a biodiversity reserve in New Yangs, it was really a fantastic place to go and see what some of the a lot of native marsupials, but also what the landscape looked like, sort of close to sort of pre-European settlement. A lot of it's been revegetated and all the pests and weeds removed. And then following on from that, we then had a nighttime tour, which attracted a slightly different audience of the reserve. So the real opportunity for a day was, and the evening walk was to be exposed to traditional connections to country, traditional owner culture, and also to bring members of the community together to learn a little bit more about the native environment for the area. So it was a great turnout, 100 people involved, and very successful day. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Patrick. And the restored Maloga World War I Memorial for Community. It's under Pyramid Hill, but actually happened at a place called Maloga. Anyone to talk about that? No? Okay, I can give a very brief description of what's happened up there. For those that don't know, Maloga's a location. Used to be a town, but there hasn't been anything in the location for about the last probably 40 years. When the town shut down and basically all the buildings got either fell down or got knocked down, the only thing that was left was a granite war memorial. And the locals up there, the farmers, land care groups and that sort of stuff, decided that they needed to maintain it. So it didn't deteriorate and disappear as well. So over a lot of years, they've been planting out around it, maintaining the grassed areas around it, They've actually put together a booklet about those people mentioned on the War Memorial, and a history of all of it. There was a rededication or an opening of the rejuvenated memorial, if you like, probably about 5 or 6 years ago now, and they're able to get a lot of families from the, and I think it's 26 people who are actually mentioned on the War Memorial from World War One. So they've done very well. Some of the people were still living in the town. So a great little community project, and certainly something that again has brought the community together, even though it's largely a Broadacre farm community up that way. Right, now, is there anyone that's come along expecting to talk that I haven't called yet? Because I've actually gone through the list that I had that we were expecting people to be here from today. Silence was the loud response. Okay, all right. Just a few housekeeping issues at the end. Keep looking for details regarding the awards event. We were hoping to be able to run it as an actual event this year down at Hastings. COVID has struck again, so unfortunately that's not going to happen. So we're busily at the moment trying to turn that over to an online event again. So as soon as all the details are finalised, we shall let you know when that is. Yep. Okay, so that's about it from me. Now, Dick, if you want, I'll let you say a few words at the end, or if you'd prefer, I can hand it over to the hardworking Sabina to close the session.
Oh, thanks very much, Gaz. Well done. Sabina couldn't work in an iron lung. Look, I just wanted to thank everyone for coming. We've heard from amazing energy initiatives in Wollert. The overachievers at Little River had projects to do with land care, stationeers, and the Woodgerong traditional owners on the land from Wallora. And this is a bit of a theme from the west, particularly the northwest, is the social empowering of art and how that's been displayed at the old railway station. And Sanana in the Northern Grampians, a land stewardship project, and Aireys Inlet, a bit of a favourite town of mine as you go along the coast. Just tried to get back to sort of basic, keep Australia beautiful stuff with the cleanest town. So look, a great variety. Thanks very much for coming. Really appreciate it. And it's an exciting array of projects, all designed to do two things: improve the world in which we live and improve the community in which we find ourselves. And you can do both of those at once. So thanks very much, and we'll see you when we see you.